Let's talk about the cause. What causes these outcomes of emotional isolation and loneliness, regret and unfulfillment, and strained relationships and broken bonds? Here are 5 things that will ensure highly successful people or individuals lose their families and why they must become a familypreneur. Number 1, neglecting quality time. If you want to position yourself in those problematic situations, you do that by neglecting quality time. Here it says, constantly prioritizing work over spending quality time with family can lead to emotional distance and strained relationships. It is very important for you and I to give those in our lives quality time. If I want quality, I have to give quality. If I want quality in return, I have to give quality. I have to invest quality time. And yes, in this rat race, in this success-driven entrepreneurial world where most of us find ourselves in, it is not always fun to sit there and do tea time. It's not always fun to watch your son do one dance 100 times. It's not going to always be fun, and it may cause your ears to bleed at times to listen to your wife when she deposits and dump on you her frustrations and thoughts and joys that she discovered in that day. Yes, those things not going to always be sexy and fun, but my friend, if you don't pay that bill, Bill will. If you don't pay that bill, a guy named Bill will. If you don't pay that bill, another girl will. If you don't pay that bill, a pedophile will. And so if you don't think about those different things, my friend, and get those wheels turning in your mind and paying those bills and ensuring that you invest in quality time, then you're going to set yourself up to be set out of your family. And so give quality time. And I'm not sitting there saying giving quantity of time. I'm talking about quality time. And it's okay. It's very important for you to communicate what's going on in your life. If there is a patch, because there's no such thing as work-life balance, because each of those things have a different weight. And those weights fluctuate. So it's hard to balance family and work, balance family and business when they hold different weights at different times. You'll rarely have an hour where both of those equal in weight. So the goal is to have work-life harmony. It's to harmonize the two. It's to get in the position where you begin to have boundaries, but you also have an ability where communication becomes the thread that causes harmony, where it doesn't create miscommunication or misalignment, where you begin to communicate, hey, babe, for the next 2 months, business is going to be heavy. This is a time of the year where things are gonna be busy. But what I'm gonna do is plan quality time. It may not be as much as last quarter. It may not be as much as last month. But what I'm gonna promise you is at this hour, on this day, we're gonna do this. That would do wonders. But if you just keep speeding through, and don't have communication cores and don't have the right type of quality of mind from a renewed mind by which the Holy Spirit ensures you have to ensure that you begin to see the significance of just 5 minutes. 5 minutes can change the world of a kid. 20 minutes can change the world of your wife. But when we don't think about it in that regard, then my friend, we'll begin to create broken bonds and strained relationships. You cannot, my friend, neglect quality time. You cannot allow them to see that you're prioritizing something beneath them above them. See, family is installed in the mind of God to be in a particular place, and God is observing how we handle the placements of things. God, number 1, you, number 2, family, number 3. Now, don't confuse you at being number 2 is with you and what you do. No, we're talking about you, just you, not you and what you do. Most people, they'll say, well, I put myself second, and so that means everything I do has to be in a second place too. No, God first. I mean, you got to prioritize your relationship with God by more than anything, more than your business, more than the meetings, more than the money you make. You must prioritize God first. Then you must prioritize yourself second. Examining, are you whole? Are you okay? How are you mentally? How are you emotionally? How are you physically? How are you spiritually? And that then clamps you to God even more, because I need to stay close to God so the things of God can flow through me. And then number 3, to my family. Family's number 3, and what you do is number 4. So if you don't prioritize family where they need to be, these kids ain't dumb. Your spouse ain't dumb. And when they begin to see, hey, you're prioritizing this above me, then my friend, they're going to end up becoming an enemy because you was an enemy towards them. Not an enemy like they're going to, but what I'm saying, like now they become a hindrance. Now your home is not peaceful. Now your kids are distant. It says wrong one. It says constantly prioritizing work over spending quality time with family can lead to emotional distance and strained relationship. At some point, they're going to be like, I don't even want to be around you no more. You don't provide what I need holistically. Number 2, lack of communication. Failing to communicate openly with family members about work pressures, back to what I said earlier, and expectations can create misunderstandings and contribute to family disconnection. See, we have to become better communicators in our homes. We have to. If not, it's going to naturally create miscommunication, misunderstanding. And there's a lot of people that leave and not communicate what's going on at work or what's going on. Both people have to communicate. Home has to be good at communicating, and the breadwinner has to be good at communicating. They both have to be good at empathy and understanding and putting on each other's shoes. But if you don't communicate, then how can you properly expect them to demonstrate that they understand what's going on in your life? And so failing to communicate openly, say, hey, this time of the year is busy, babe. But like I said before, this is what we can do to ensure that we keep this thing harmonized, that we keep this thing where it needs to be, where we keep these things synergized. It says failing to communicate openly with family members about work pressure and expectations can create misunderstanding. Then they start believing that the reason why you leaving or cleaving is for something more important than they are to you. Number 3, overworking. One of the things that you could be doing right now that will eventually contribute to you having regret, being emotionally isolated, and having strained bonds is overworking. Excessive work hours and burnout not only harm an entrepreneur's health, but can also result in the neglect of family responsibilities, causing strain within the household. How many of us, and I have been guilty of this, and the Lord has been working on me, and now I can care less about being overly worked. And that's why I put this here now. I put it here as a warning, because excessive work hours and burnout not only harm your health, but can result in neglect of family responsibility. Meaning that this system designed by Satan was designed to infuse into the hearts of men and women who are wired to be successful, to be selfishly ambitious, or to be overly ambitious, or to try to be ambitious to compensate of what happened previously, or for them to be so caught up in comparison and competing that this world was designed to cause you to not pay no mind to what the divine wants you to pay mind to. Because you as an entrepreneur, me as an entrepreneur, all of us as high achievers, successful, driven individuals have to understand God's original design for work. He even demonstrated it for us. He worked 6, rest 1. He gave us a pattern. He gave us the balance and the harmony between work and life, causing us to give more life, causing us to have a level of vitality. But when we begin to overwork these excessive hours to prove to who? To achieve what? Listen, it doesn't matter what you and I desire to achieve. It doesn't compare in cost and what it will cost you. Yes, you got the big house. Yes, you got the big car. Yes, you got 16 bedrooms and 86 bathrooms. But my friend, you have no one there to use them. Or if you do have a family in there, it's quiet. There's no life of family, no bubbling of family, no excitement when you come through the door. And you got to think about your health, because if you're not healthy, your family won't be healthy. It is my job to make sure that I'm healthy, because if anything happens to me, man, I disrupt the order in their life. If I die prematurely or excessively working, or die prematurely not taking care of myself, or die prematurely or become ill or unable to be who I need to be, it disrupts their energy. It disrupts their synergy. It disrupts them. Because if I'm sick, my mind's on the sickness. If my mind is on these different things, then how would I be able to contribute to what they need? So we have to pursue success God's way. We are in partnership with God. Promotion doesn't come from east or west. It comes from God. God cares about you being at the feet of the master. He cares about you being a master over your home, being a steward over your home is what I'm saying, and for you to master your craft. The when, the where, and the how is God's responsibility. God only cares about you focus on the who and the what. Who God is, who he is to you, who you are to you, who you are to them, and what you're supposed to do right now in this moment. What is the best thing? What is the God thing that God wants you to do at this moment? When you focus on the who and the what, God will take care of the when, the where, and the how. And so when you begin to let God do the when, the where, and the how, you have more time to spend time, quality time with family, knowing that God has already worked on your behalf. God is not working things out for you. God has already worked things out for you. God just wants you to work in a particular level of work to unlock what has already been worked out for you, meaning he wants you to work and becoming disciplined. He wants you to work and doing what you need to do in your household. He wants you to work the work that he has given you. And then as you become the individual able to manage at this level, then he can unlock the blessings at this level. Because if you can't manage work and family at this level, you're not going to be able to manage work at this level. If you're losing your wife now as we speak, losing your husband as we speak, losing your children as we speak, and you're only making 6 figures a month, what's going to happen when you make 7 figures a month? So if you can't handle 5 figures a month in your business, if you can't handle 6 figures a month in your business and being able to manage both work and life and family, then God is not going to open the floodgates of heaven to pour you out a next level blessing that you don't have room to receive. And so when you begin to think about it, you're like, man, am I working too hard? Next point, failure to set boundaries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 things. Failure to set boundaries. Not establishing clear boundaries between work and personal life will lead to work encroaching on family time, causing frustration and resentment among families. You got to tell that boss. You got to tell that marketplace. You got to tell the demands of your clients, hey, at this time, there's no time for me. There has to be a time where everything stops. You know what? I think it's the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean where they meet, and there's a line through it. They don't cross. You don't allow salt water to cross over into fresh water. It can't happen. And so when you allow the saltiness of the work life to come into the freshness of your home life, then my friend, it's going to cause confusion. It's going to cause resentment. So you have to set clear boundaries. At this hour and between these hours is family time. And it has to be installed in your ideologies when it comes to your companies, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your ambitions. You got to say, hey, I trust God that if I stop at 5 o'clock, I trust God that God will compensate because I put in first place my family over this. God will honor that. You have to have an hour say, this is where I stop. I don't do anything beyond this time. This is all family time. That will do wonders in your life. So not establishing clear boundaries between work and personal life may lead to work encroaching on family time. Now, all of a sudden, that phone, you got to cut the phone off, close the laptop when it comes to family time, because yes, your son is on the 20th time of showing you that dance, but it's on that 21st time. Kids don't care how long they've been doing something. They care about you being there the whole time. Spouses don't care about what work has to do when you've been at work all day and they've been holding all of this energy, holding all of these concerns, holding all these different things, and they're expecting you to give you their ear. Listen, I know this in my life. It doesn't matter how many kids I counsel a day. It doesn't matter how many teachers I counsel a day. It doesn't matter how many coaching calls I have in a day. At about 6:45 or 9:30 at night, my wife is going to open her mouth and talk. And she don't give a flip about all the stuff I had to flip and do at my job or in my life, I have to have a supernatural bandwidth and support and supply to give her that ear without no facial expressions, without no demeanor, without no looking at my phone. That's not fair to her. And at any given moment, my life becomes too full for her, then I am not going to be a fool for her. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start cutting things off and begin to say, hey, this is too much. Hey, y'all asking too much. You know what? I'll get to that on Monday. You have an attitude about it, then I'm not working here no more. You have an attitude about it, then I don't serve here anymore. If you have an attitude about it, it doesn't matter about your attitude because I don't need attitudes where I lay my head. So I got to make sure they're fed. So you have to set boundaries, my friends. You got to say, hey, man, you just can't cross this line. This is family time. Financial stress. Poor financial management or taking excessive risk in the business without considering the family's financial well-being can create tension and instability, impacting family relationships. So you got to start thinking about, hey, you just can't be, hey, listen, if you're going to take a lot of risks single so that you're the only one that suffers. I can't afford to take a risk because if I take a risk, man, I risk missing out. I risk causing them to miss out. I risk putting us in a negative situation. So a familypreneur is an individual that prioritizes their family, that ensures their family is solid more than they care about their business being solid. Because my friend, if you take care of your family's business, God will take care of your business. It says being a familypreneur is crucial to avoid these pitfalls. It involves consciously balancing work commitments with family priorities, fostering open communication, setting boundaries, and ensuring the well-being of both the business and the family unit. This approach contributes to a healthier work-life integration and sustains meaningful relationships. What profits a man or a woman if they gain this whole world but lose their family? Let's go into the solutions.